Hi guys, welcome to youtube.com/Adam McKola. This is the preview for the Manchester United against Brighton game in the FA Cup. The FA Cup quarter-final. Big chance for Manchester United to cement a place in the semi-finals. And of course, a spot at Wembley. Manchester United going into this game on the back of a surprise defeat against Sevilla. One that none of us saw coming. We did not see that coming, did we? We were confident after we'd beaten Liverpool, after we'd beaten Chelsea, beaten Palace, we'd come into it. We'd come from behind in a couple of games. That's what got that confidence building. And then we beat Liverpool, and it felt comfortable against Liverpool. It was a tactical win. Jose with his masterclass in terms of in the first half, going out there, getting 2 goals, second half, shutting up shop a little bit, but we were always in control. And I felt going into that Sevilla game, all we have to do is win this match. That is all we have to do. Win this match 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, whatever the score is, we're going through. Because the first leg, 0-0, it fell apart. It fell apart drastically. We thought Pogba's fit. He's passed his fitness test. Surely he's going to start. Nope. We go with 2 holding midfielders, Fellaini and Matic. The diamond in front of them. We started off 5 minutes quite well. But after that, Sevilla got control and they deserve to go through into the last 8 of the Champions League. And Sevilla are probably the weakest side left in that competition. Sevilla are the side that when we got them in the draw, we were thinking, yes, what a draw. We can get through to the last 8. And now look at us. We got knocked out. You hear of tears in the dressing room. You hear of players not wanting to come out of the dressing room. You hear of Jose Mourinho's comments. And then you hear of him coming out and defending his players, taking the flak, and allowing them to recover and focus on the Brighton game. And if that is the case, then I've got a lot of respect for Jose Mourinho. But his comments did make me scratch my head. What were you talking about after that game? We don't want to hear about how you've knocked United out of the Champions League before. We want to hear about how you're going to sort this out and fix this. Because it was you that got it wrong. It was your selection that was wrong. It was your failure to change things. It was your substitutions coming too late. Everything about your selection, your tactics, everything was wrong on the day. Now look, the bigger picture of things is Jose Mourinho has made Manchester United a better side than we were than when he took charge. The progress might not have been as quick as we wanted to, but there's been definite progress. But we don't want the wheels to fall off. We don't want to start backtracking again now. And that's how it felt in that game. It felt like we had regressed. It felt like we had gone back. And that's not how you want to feel as Manchester United fans, especially after a couple of years since obviously those glory times under Fergie. I hate talking about them, but you have to, because those are the standards that we expect at Manchester United. And if we're not winning trophies, we expect to be at least challenging for them. And that was not a challenge that day. That was awful. That was absolutely awful that day. And I've never seen anything like it. It was like watching a League Cup game. That's how it felt. It felt like, you know, when we were flying in all 4 competitions and you could kind of discount the League Cup and think we don't really need the extra fixtures, because we didn't react. And I wanted them to score. Is it back now? What's the last thing you heard me say? What is the last thing you heard me say, guys? Let me know. Let me know. What was the last thing you heard me say, and then I'll carry on from there. Go on. Let us know in the comments. As soon as I got that, I'll carry on. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, Manchester United, we threw it away against Sevilla. We need to react against Brighton. The FA Cup, is it the only thing we can win? Of course it is. But is it a bad season if we don't win it? You can't base a whole season's success on the FA Cup. You want to do well in the Premier League and the European Cup primarily. But you always want to win a trophy. And if we can get second and a trophy, although it's not ideal, although it's not jump off the rooftops, happy kind of stuff, it is a decent season, especially after last season, Europa League, League Cup, this season, second, FA Cup. Next season, you want to see us going for that Premier League trophy, because that's what we'll be needing to get back and do a lot better in the Champions League. But this game now, it gets decided on the day. Brighton are coming. They're a very good side under Chris Hughton. They're going to be confident of causing a shock, and that is why we can't be reactive again. Against Sevilla, you felt like if they scored in the first half, we probably would have went through. Second half, Jose Mourinho would have made the changes we needed to make. In the first half, you're crying out for those changes after 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Make a change. Go to a midfield three. Change it up a little bit. Bring some, vigor into this team, because we'd lost all momentum. We just didn't look like we had an idea. Mata on the bench. Martial on the bench. We had so many players that could have changed things, and he didn't bring them on. And I felt the changes come too late, and we need to be proactive against Brighton. We need to be a team that's proactive in general, looking to be on the front foot, looking to make things happen, and looking to progress. This game, it's ideal for us. It's at home, in front of our own fans, under the floodlights at Old Trafford. It gets decided on the day. Of course, you're hoping we don't need more than 90 minutes to deal with this side. But nevertheless, we have to win it. It's a must-win game. That is for sure. Jose Mourinho's comments after the game, they weren't ideal. They're not what you want to hear from a Manchester United manager. But nevertheless, apparently he's been coming out and he's protecting his players. And if that's the case, then you kind of respect his comments, although they pissed us off. But what you want to hear Jose Mourinho coming out and saying is, he's going to get this right, because it was his fault for those mistakes that we made that day. It was his fault for the tactics, his fault for the substitutions, his fault for not changing things. Now, like I said, if you're looking at the bigger picture, it's okay for Manchester United. We are progressing, but we needed to be in the last 8 because we had arguably the weakest side in the draw. Anyway, let's look forward now. I'm going to be showing you my team selection today as well, my predicted lineup for the game. So let me know if you think Jose Mourinho should be making some changes. I'm going to be giving you my predicted scorelines, reading some of your predicted scorelines, your predicted teams, answering some of your questions, and so much more as well. So keep it locked to youtube.com/Adam McKola. This is the Brighton preview ahead of the FA Cup quarter-final game at Old Trafford. We're live, we're locked in. We got 150 people watching at the moment, and thousands more will watch after as well. So whether you're watching live or watching this back after, thank you very much for tuning in. As you can see, we've gone past the 47,500 mark in terms of subscribers. Thank you to all those new subscribers. Make sure you're keeping it locked as well. If you're not subscribed, then hit that subscribe button. I want Lukaku to take the armband, says Governor Bandicoot. Once Carrick retires, he truly gets this club. And he was the only player that came out of that game against Sevilla with any pride intact, because he was absolutely fantastic. He was, look, he could have scored in the first half. He had a very good chance, which he ballooned wide, high and wide. I think it was his first chance on goal. But he took his goal fantastically well. And he was leading on the pitch with his performance. bullying players, getting his body in between things, trying to make things happen. And it was, if we had a couple of more that were doing what Lukaku was doing, we probably would have won that match. But we didn't. Nevertheless, Romelu Lukaku in the last couple of weeks, he's been criticised recently for his performances, and his performances have improved even when he hasn't scored. That's been great to see from Romelu Lukaku as well. And we're seeing a man that's coming out and really sticking his chest out and leading from the front. 24 years old, still a lot more to come from him, but it looks like the penny's finally dropping with him as well. Dean's in the comments. Dean will be back this week as well with the weekend wrap, and we're shooting our podcast very, very soon, which is Straight Up. The podcast is going to be called Straight Up. We're going to have a new YouTube channel and all that, so keep it locked for that. Bad Brad says he loves Lukaku, as does AS7 Alexis. Now let's talk about Alexis Sanchez, because there's a few people saying he doesn't deserve his wages, this, that and the other. Listen, he's still a very, very good player. I know I've been critical of his performances, but let's talk about Alexis Sanchez. What is going on with him? What is going wrong with his performances at this moment in time? Is it because he's come into a team that hasn't been playing well and he is kind of struggling at this moment, and therefore a new player coming in, he's going to find it hard to make things happen? Or are you worried by it? I think Jose's got to find his best position for starters. I think we've got to settle down with a team, not just Sanchez either. We've got to settle down. We keep chopping and changing formations. Now I know he's a manager that can do that, but we need to see some familiarity so players can, get used to each other. We went from a midfield of, I know injuries haven't helped, but I don't want to keep going backwards. Bosco says no Sanchez next fixture. What do you say? Now I think we should do that. Bring him out of the team. It would have been ideal to introduce him. I know his first game against Yeovil and he played all right, and then he scored against Huddersfield at home in the league. But I think he needs to perform better. We know that, and I think taking him in from the bench would be better. If we're 2-0 up on Saturday, which would be nice, but if we're 2-0 up on Saturday, bringing him in, maybe he gets a goal, builds his confidence, because he hasn't scored. Now I know Sanchez is a player that does a lot without scoring, but he's a confidence player as well. He's going to need confidence, and a goal would lift the confidence. He's only scored one goal, which was from a penalty, which was saved, so he needs to add that to his game. I know he's contributed elsewhere, but his all-round general performances haven't been good enough, and I feel he needs to be held to the standards of other players. If Martial had some as bad performances like he has had, he would have been dropped. Rashford too, Mkhitaryan too. So you look at these players and you think he's got to be held to the same standards. Of course, he's a new player, so you don't want to shoot his confidence straight away, but I think he would understand that. Taking him out, putting him back in, I don't think it would be a bad thing to do with Alexis Sanchez. But he's not the worst player. Don't get me wrong. He's a player that's coming. He's new. You can't place the blame at his doorstep at all. Although he's part, obviously, of the problem on Tuesday. We got a Brighton fan in the house as well. Matt, thank you for tuning in. Fergie would put his ego after the club's interests. Says, hey, I'm guessing that's in terms of Jose Mourinho's comments, and you do hear things coming out in terms of him defending his players, and if he did that to purely take the heat off his players, then fair enough. But I would like to have seen him take a little bit of responsibility in terms of the tactics and the formation, because you can take responsibility off your players by saying, look, I got it wrong in terms of tactically or whatever today. Worst player at the moment is Ashley Young, says Mr. Drew. Mourinho's tactics are destroying Alexis, says Harry Singh. Alexis is a hard worker, but he's not good enough at the moment. I don't think he should start on Saturday, says Jamie. Was McTominay the missing ingredient to the midfield, thus them dominating against our midfield on Tuesday, says Mahir. I think McTominay's not starting was a big thing, because he makes himself a presence at all times. He's trying to defend, he's trying to get in people's faces, he's trying to make challenges, and that's important for a midfield player. But that helps other players play, and Fellaini just didn't do that. I know people are saying I'm scapegoating him. I'm not. He's not the only one to blame for us getting knocked out. But in midfield, he was poor. He didn't help Matic at all. He didn't track any runners. He didn't make himself seen. He didn't show for the ball enough. He didn't do the things that McTominay does. McTominay plays football very simply, but he does it well. Wins the ball back, gives it onto his teammate. Wins the ball back, gives it onto his teammates. And McTominay, yes, we did miss him. I would have rather McTominay and Matic started than Fellaini and Matic, because I felt he would have done more to help us in terms of going forward and getting the ball back. Because we started okay. We started like that front four could have made problems. What does Luke Shaw need to do to get into the starting 11? Says shoot neutrality. Totally agree with you, mate. Still confused about that one. We will beat you 2-1. Look at the way we played when we were in the league. You got lucky, but not this time, says Matt, the Brighton fan who's feeling confident. Now, Brighton did play very, very well against us in the league, to be fair to them. They performed well. It took an own goal for us to win. Lewis Dunk, I think, got the own goal. I know we were attacking for a lot of the game, but they were very unlucky in that game. So, yeah, fair play to them, but I don't think they're going to win this game. I think when you're coming into this game, Manchester United, under the cosh, like we have been, I think, yeah, we need to get back. We're going to get back to winning ways. It's as simple as that. We have to. There's no excuses not. Susan says McTominay plays for the badge, unlike Fellaini. See, I find that like an easy complaint, like plays for the badge. I know he does, but I find that like an easy goal. I just think Fellaini's not good enough. I think if you put him up top and you make him a target man or someone that's going to, you know, hold the fullback and win the ball and get the ball and pass it on, he's okay. But if you're sticking him in midfield and hoping that he does something useful, he's not okay. Matter starts, we win, says Bad Brad. I think his influence is a bit underestimated in our team. Does our playing style need to improve, says Lewis. I didn't expect that playing style at home, which surprised. I think at home we were alright. Away from home sometimes is when people have most of the complaints. I think at home we're pretty successful. We win most of our games. We score a lot of goals. I think only City before Sevilla had beaten us there in like 2 years. So when you're looking at our home form is pretty good. And I don't think the style of play at home is too bad either. It's away from home where it's been a problem. But again, Sevilla was at home and it was a problem. Matter of Sanchez link up well, says Gorty. Fellaini's not good enough. He's one-dimensional. If he's on the field, you know what's coming. Matter was superb when he started against Liverpool. Do you think he should have started against Sevilla? In hindsight, yes. But he wasn't in my predicted 11 either, so I can't really complain about that one. People talking about, thanks for the comment about XS Manchester, the radio call I did earlier. Talking about Pogba because Gas was getting at Pogba. I don't get how people can criticise Paul Pogba for us going out against Sevilla. He was on for 15-20 minutes. Now, I know he wasn't great. He gave the ball away a few times, but I would be in a mood too if Marouane Fellaini was selected ahead of me and that team was selected ahead of me. I just think it's baffling to blame Paul Pogba for us going out. It wasn't his fault at all. And I want to see him confident. I want to see him back in the team. And I think it starts with the manager. Obviously, he's been out injured recently, but the manager's got to be starting him at the right times. Pogba does need to stand up, says Shriram. I agree in the sense that he needs to improve in his performances, but I disagree in the sense that you can blame him for Tuesday. He'd be at the bottom of the list for Tuesday's performance. In my opinion, if United win the FA Cup, it's been a poor season. Says Ack. If we win the FA Cup and I'm at Wembley on the final day of the season celebrating an FA Cup win and we've finished second, I'm not going to look at it as a bad season. I'm not going to look at it as a great season either, but I'm not going to look at it as a bad season at all, to be honest. Can we give Angel Gomez a run in the team now that we don't have much to lose? We do have much to lose in terms of if we lose a couple of games, we lost our top 4 spot. But I do hope that we get to see a few more games from him. If we get top 4 wrapped up and we're still in the FA Cup, maybe Jose Mourinho will switch his focus like he did at the end of the season last year with the Europa League. Matic was isolated due to Fellaini, says Harry. This was one of the comments and one of the things I was trying to say earlier on today. Do you think our early exit from the UCL this year could lead to players like David De Gea, Mata, etc. leaving this summer? No. I totally... Dean says, preach. I totally agree, mate. I don't know why Mata is like a squad player in his team. He is worthy of a first choice midfield every game. Thoughts on Housen's buzz cut, says Tesso. It's a bizarre cut, innit? But he hit his target. We are nowhere. See, JJ Al says Man City are miles ahead of us. See, I know right now in the league, the way you look at things, yes, they are. But I think next season we could be well up there because we don't need to change that much. We don't need to change that much. Look at us. Some of the performances away from home this year have been very good. Big wins away from home this year as well. I know we've had some defeats too. But then you look at home, beating Liverpool, beating Chelsea. We have done okay. We waltzed through our Champions League group. Still in the FA Cup. We've had a decent-ish season, but that Sevilla game was awful. And we're out of the Champions League. That's bad. And we dropped off City way too early. But I think 1 or 2 players in the summer, get rid of a few more. And next season we can aim to improve on this season. I don't think it's as, when people say miles off and you're thinking, it's going to take us 2-3 seasons to catch someone. I don't think it's that case. I think we're definitely improving. But the improvement needs to escalate between now and the summer. So that in the summer, we're ready. We're ready for next season. Not blaming Pogba entirely, as Jose is responsible for the setup and the tactics, says Akbar. MWW, please tell me so much about what Fellaini that Jose loves him so much. Don't get it, mate, either. 30 minutes Pogba was on, Daniel correcting me. Imagine Simeone managing this club. Shoot neutrality, the football would be worse. That's for sure. People talk about his style of play, but isn't his worse? Isn't his worse? I don't know. Sure it is. I don't know why Mata can't play in a 4-3-3 with David Silva's role. I know I would like to see that a little bit more as well. I know earlier in the season, remember when we were 4-0 FC, it was with Matic, Pogba and Mata in a 4-2-3-1. But we could try that as well with Matic a little bit deeper. Mata on the right and Pogba on the left at home in games. Maybe away from home it wouldn't be ideal. But at home in games I definitely think we could do that. I don't think that would be a problem at all. Right then, let's get the team prediction up right about now. You guys ready? Boom. There's my predicted lineup. I want to see some changes. David De Gea deserves a rest, I think. He's not getting dropped. Don't worry about that one. David De Gea been replaced by Romero in this starting lineup. Jose Mourinho has mentioned that Romero needs minutes. And the FA Cup's a good opportunity to give him those minutes. So I'd go with Sergio Romero in goal. At right back I've got Antonio Valencia, obviously. At left back I've got Luke Shaw. I would like to see Luke Shaw play. Lindelof and Bailly at centre half. I would bring Lindelof back in. And we've got Matic, McTominay and Pogba. Mata on the right, Martial on the left and Romelu Lukaku up top. That is the team I want to see on Saturday. Alexis Sanchez on the bench, Rashford on the bench, although I'm not dropping him. I'm just changing it up. He looked to seem a little bit mentally. He took that hard. I know a lot of us took it hard, and I'm sure he'll be wound up, ready to change things and make it right. But I'd bring in Mata, bring in Martial, bring in Lukaku, McTominay, Pogba in the midfield with Matic behind him, Valencia, Lindelof, Bailly, and Sean Romero in goal. Yes, we rest some players. Yes, we give guys a break. Yes, we get to freshen things up from Tuesday, and we give David De Gea a rest, but also keep a very, very strong team in terms of being able to progress and get into the semi-finals. Big opportunity for United. Look, whether we progressed against Sevilla or not, I would have wanted to win this game. I absolutely love the FA Cup, and I want us to win it every single season if we can. Of course, you want to win the Premier League and the Champions League more, but the FA Cup's still a big deal for me, and I want United to get through, and we need to beat Brighton. Brighton have a very good team. Chris Hughton's going to keep them up this season. He's a decent coach, decent manager, and they've got some decent players in their armoury. You're looking at the likes of Knockout, although I'm not sure whether he's suspended or not for this one. They've got some other decent players as well. And of course, I'm surprised Glenn Murray wasn't in the England squad. When you look at the England squad and the state of some of the England squad, and Glenn Murray didn't make it, but you've got the likes of Joe Hart, Danny Welbeck, and all that stuff in there. I was surprised he didn't make it into that England team. So yeah, that's my team. Brighton are a good team, but look, we should be beating them. We have to be beating them. It's that simple. I'm expecting a reaction from the crowd, hopefully, from the team. We need a reaction from the team, from the manager, and we need to be at this game, and we need to be winning this game. That simple. Start Fellaini, Young and Smalling, and who will thrash Brighton, says Harry. I hope he is joking. Why if Fellaini plays in this game, says Aniket. It wouldn't surprise me if Marouane Fellaini was started by Jose Mourinho. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Bosco says, why is the connection slow on FTD? For me, I'm not sure about that one. As you can see, my connection's fine. Did a speed test earlier, my connection was fine. We're looking into the Skype and my laptop, see if it's a problem with one of those, because I'm not sure. It's not my internet connection, that is for sure. I think the team that started against Sevilla struggles against Brighton. I agree with you, Dean. I do agree with you. That midfield would get overrun. They've got a decent midfield of Brighton, and I don't think we would perform well against them if we were to pick that same team at all. Please, no. Oh, God, please, no. Not going to do it, are they? Jose Mourinho would probably do it, though, man. Wouldn't he? They've not got many injuries. I'm looking. That's the one I was thinking about. Izquierdo. He's another player that I was thinking of in terms of a threat for them. He's a very good player and dangerous as well. They beat Arsenal recently, and I think Izquierdo was a big threat for them. And then you have also in there Pascal Gross as well. So they've got a few good players. Pushka says, how about Carrick? I thought about starting Michael Carrick, and then I thought about what Dean just said, and they have got a very good midfield, and I just don't want him to get overrun. You know, it's coming to the end of his career. He's retiring and all that stuff. I just don't want him to get overrun, and I would fear that could happen if he was to play in that game. Bring him off the bench by all means. It is a conspiracy, Governor Bandicoot, most definitely. Watch out for Pascal Gross. That guy is a beast, says Jackanoff. My lineup. So Matt from BHA FC has given us a predicted lineup. Says Matty Ryan in goal. Bruno at right back, Lewis Dunk, Shane Duffy, Sutner at left back, Izquierdo at left mid, Davy Proper, Dale Stevens, Pascal Gross at CAM, and Locadia up top. I signed Davy Proper on my Football Manager save. I was a championship side, but yeah. Right mid, Solly March, he says. He finishes his team. I thought Brighton were confident enough to take on United with 10 players and beat us after Saturday. Which wouldn't have been surprising me. Alright then. Where is Blind? Blind is injured at the moment, Bosco. That is why Blind isn't available. United's injuries at the moment: Ibrahimovic, Rojo, Blind, Jones, and Ander Herrera. Not sure if any of them are going to be available for this game on the weekend. But yeah, that is what's going down, guys. United against Brighton this week. I'm running out of things to say because I've said so much today and so much since Tuesday. I'm just hoping United bounce back on Saturday, because if we don't know what I'm going to do. And this season's just going to be crap then, innit? At least then we've got a trophy to look forward to, or a semi-final at Wembley to look forward to. Imagine you get knocked out against Brighton in March and your season's done and dusted. Shit, can't have that happening. I'm going for a confident prediction of a 3-0 win to Manchester United. We had Matt predicting a 2-1 win for Brighton. What are your predictions? Get your predictions in the comments below. Make sure you're liking this video as well, and make sure you're subscribing if you're not already subscribed to the channel. We're trying to hit 50k ASAP, just under 2,500 subscribers to go to do that. You can help us do that by hitting the subscribe button. Bad Brad thinks we're going to win 3-1. Puma thinks it's going to be Brighton 2-0. What? I think I'll hibernate till August if we lose this weekend. I think that's my plan as well. McLaren Tesso says 3-2 FA Cup only to win for Spurs, Chelsea and United. It's a big competition, isn't it? Now for those teams. 3-0 for the Red Devils, says DL Gittens. Robbie thinks 2-0. Aniket thinks 1-0. Bosco thinks 2-1. Red Devil says 1-1. I would love to smash City in a community shield. Don't bring that up right now. It's not the time or the players. Positive thoughts. 3-1. Kayleanne says 3-0 matter. Return of Forchester United, says jacking off. And Aniket says 1-0. So yeah, United Brighton this weekend. Looking forward to it, as I usually am. I'm not going to let the last game ruin my day out at the football. I'm not going to do that. Going to approach it with the usual confidence. And if we get upset again, then that's just life, innit? But it's going to be good. It's going to be 3-0 United. Anyway, guys, remember, I'll have all my usual coverage around that game. My match day vlog, my match day reaction, and much more. The weekend wrap on the weekend as well. I'll be doing something for you guys. I'm not sure yet what tomorrow. But I'll be doing something tomorrow. So keep it locked to youtube.com/Adam McKola. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment. I'm out of here.